Welcome back to Hornets Nest Park for the back nine of the first round of the 2026 Charlotte Roar, presented by GMT, the greatest media team. We'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors before we get into this coverage, including Grip Equipment, Discmania, Disc Golf 978, and First Available Print and Apparel. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Tyler Wozniak. How's it going, Woz?
What is up, Nathan? We had a fun time on our front nine, and here we are in the back nine at Hornets Nest. A much more treacherous nine, I would say. Typically, you want to get your birdies on the front, as you see these players here: Adam Cruz, Paul, myself, Nick, Clay Edwards, and Nathan Queen, all carding good front nines. And we'll see who is able to manage the back nine, maybe even put a heater on through the back nine. And if anybody gets, some bad breaks and has some bad luck on the back nine too.
Yeah, taking a look at our lead card from what we saw on the front nine: Paul Ulibarri, Nathan Queen, Austin Turner, and Holt Whitted.
All right, here we are, hole 10. This hole is kind of like a power hyzer shot for a right-handed backhand throw. You got to contend with some trees here. And actually, I got my holes mixed up. This hole is more of a straight line, very narrow gap. You have two different lines. Typically, you'll see players take this left side turning shot. Looks like that's what Ulibarri's lining up.
Yeah, a lot of different ways to attack this one. You got the left hand turnover with the righty backhand. You got the hyzer flip down the middle. Got a couple forehand options as well. Like you said, Tyler, Uli likes that left side turnover line. Looks like it kind of got a little sneaky through the middle there. We'll see how far it pushed forward as we look at the catch cam angle.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of turned it more than he wanted to, but it catches edge here at the end of the flight, and it's a great throw. Good job.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the intended line, but got through everything, so can't be upset about it.
All right, Austin's going with the left side hyzer flip. It's looking good.
Great. Wow, it's going to be right next to Uli there, well inside circle one. Almost hit that very first tree, but once he got by it, it was smooth sailing all the way to the basket. What a shot.
Yeah, what a shot. I almost thought we had an ace run there. Okay, Queen's going to go, I think, the straight gap here.
Yeah, hyzer flip down the middle. I don't know if that's what he's intending to do, to go to the left of those two middle trees, but it worked out either way. He's going to be up there, circle's edge.
Yeah, he knows if he hits that initial gap that more than likely he'll get through the rest of it. So he did a good job there. Good disc choice. All right, Holt's going flick here. Oh, kind of similar shot to hole 3 on the front nine. Just undercommits to the line. But he's going to be okay. That's a good upshot. I've actually known Holt since he was about 15 years old. I met him through a mutual friend, and it's a lot of fun to see how he's grown and how his game is progressing. He is, as long as he stays in the game and stays committed, I think he's got an extremely bright future ahead of him.
It's going to be a tough bogey for him to take on this hole, but we got a couple birdie looks. Nathan Queen up first. That was a weird reaction off the basket.
Yeah, it kind of gets that wide side drop and maybe hits some nubs with the chains and just doesn't stick. There it is. That's that Uli spin putt, kind of top shelf belief spin putt, very signature style putt that he has, and he's very good at it. As you can see, he connects on the birdie there.
Yeah, Austin Turner after the result. Great tee shot with his Cigarra down the left side. He's got a birdie putt as a result.
There he goes. Okay, so Austin Turner had kind of a little bit of an off front nine. Wasn't playing bad, but just wasn't quite connecting on a lot of throws and just barely missing some gaps. Looks like he picked it up at the end of the front nine, and he's going to look here to continue getting some birdies to salvage this round of his.
Yeah, hole 10 is definitely a great one to pick up to start.
Yeah.
Right as kind of middle of the road in terms of difficulty, 3.19 average for the hole. But we're going to hop into one of the easier holes, second easiest hole to be exact on the course, hole 11, 456-foot par 4. Eagle in play if you can get a full flight out of it. You just got to hit this gap with your disc pushing straight and getting a little bit of left finish at the end. Can put you in deep circle too. I think this one plays closer to 480 if I'm being honest, because
I agree.
it's not really reachable, but you can get a circle 2 look if you really hit one hard.
Yeah, this feels like 480. I've thrown some really good drives here, and I've still got like a 50-foot putt for you. Oh, and Ulibarri is thanking his lucky stars. He totally yanks that. He knows it.
He's cheesing.
But to have a great round, sometimes those are the kind of breaks you need to get.
Yeah, really good break to still be in the fairway after that drive. Austin going to opt for the forehand.
Just gets it right. Darn it, I feel like I just niced that for him or something. But little left side, so he knows that he could have thrown that a little better also.
Yeah, still in position though. I mean, again, if you don't hit the first tree on this hole, you're going to have a chance to get up and down for birdies. So
Nathan goes with the hyzer flip play. Don't think it flips quite as much as he was hoping for, but he probably has a scramble from there for his birdie. Holt's going with the power driver here. Turns it a little early. He'll have a tough up shot.
yeah, just going to have to pitch out. Those woods on the left are pretty thick if you don't get far enough up the fairway. So smart decision there. Just going to have to play for par now.
Yeah, that was a smart decision. No need to get greedy here and sacrifice a par for a bogey. Oh, buddy, but he's going to get one anyway if he connects on the up shot there. It happens. He'll shake it off, I'm sure.
Yeah, this hole is short, but it's not like the fairway is huge. You know, you still got to hit your gaps. You still got to earn it. This is a nice looking upshot from Uli. Just a little turnover forehand, put him in the edge of circle.
Yep. He's not super satisfied with that. I'm sure he wanted to pin that up. All right, here's Austin. And these kind of upshots were kind of giving him trouble in the first round. Looks like he does it just right. I think he's going to start connecting on all cylinders here soon.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of putt he has from there. Awkward little stance for Nathan Queen, but he is no stranger to those kind of shots. Very comfortable in weird stances and footings.
For sure. And, you know, something I wanted to acknowledge about Queen's game, and you see it there, you saw it on his drive. He's really good at hitting his initial line, and his discs, they don't really turn too hard or fade too hard, and I think it gives him more opportunities to score. He's really good at sort of keeping the disc inside of a tunnel, whether it's turning or fading at the end of the flight, and I think that's what separates a lot of, you know, your regular pros from your top pros, is that control of the entire flight. And what a great putt by Ulibarri. Pick up a birdie there.
Yeah, it's a couple now that Paul's hit from right around that edge of circle range. Starting to heat up a bit with the putter. Keeps his strong round going. 25-footer from Queen, able to connect as well. That's a good birdie from him.
Two good putts from our pros here.
I do have to give a shout out. Hole 11 saw one eagle from Nick Robertson. We saw him after a strong front nine on the leaderboard. He is obviously keeping his foot to the
pedal to the metal.
Pedal, yeah. Whatever
his foot's somewhere and the pedal is in the gas and it's all going. Great job, Nick Robertson. That's a great eagle. Certainly a great throw, I'm sure, off the tee to get him in position to connect on that putt. All right, well, we're going to put the pedal to the metal here and look at this next hole, hole 12. This can be a treacherous hole if you don't get off the tee clean here. A very kind of deceiving shot. You've got to throw far, but you can't turn hard or fade hard. A lot of players choose the power hyzer over these right side trees and then fade right here. To get yourself into position, either throw a flick into this corridor we're coming into, or what you'll probably see more often is a large, long turning backhand that if you can connect through here and stay clean, you can give yourself a look at a very good putt, which I think is playing as a birdie or an eagle. It's going to play as an eagle.
Yeah, so we'll see if anybody's able to grab the free on this card. Key off the tee is got to keep yourself in the fairway in the short grass. Uli throws this one pretty much picture perfect. It's going to be a little bit on the left side, but that's basically where you want to be.
Yeah, Yuli threw that really well. Here we go. Austin Turner, he's going to hate that. So easy to do on this hole. You get the disc too high, it stalls out, and you're either on the right side like Turner is, or you're on the left side. So Yuli kind of showed you how to play this hole smart. Just throw it short, or not short, but throw it low and controlled and keep it straight. Looks like Nathan's going to try to get pretty aggressive here. He's got a good turn on this disc.
Yeah, that's going to be in a great spot.
Yeah, let's take another look at that.
Got a nice full flight out of it. A little bit of baby drift. Very neutral disc like you were talking about on the last hole, Tyler. Just never really a doubt that that one was going to be right where you wanted it to be.
Yeah, he's so good at those kind of throws. I'm going to say that's probably a star wraith that he's throwing there.
See how aggressive Holt decides to get here.
Kind of gets it up, but he throws the right disc in the right line, leaving a little bit of meat on the bone, but a good play nonetheless, I think.
Yeah, that's fine if you're playing for birdie, although it looks like maybe he's going to get aggressive here. Going to go for the turnover anyway, even though he's a bit pinched off on that short right side.
Hard to tell if that worked out. I think he'll have something to work with. Ulibarri going for that power flick. Put some gas on it, and that's really well done. That's a 400-foot flick. You know, in round one, I said he's one of the best forehand throwers from 350 and in. I got to correct myself. I'm going to say 400 and in.
I was going to say it was a bit disrespectful to imply
yeah,
he's got a noodle arm.
Yeah, it was, and I apologize.
Perfect placement shot there from Nathan Queen as well. Anything if you land yourself down at the mouth of that gap is going to be just fine to play for the birdie on this one.
That's a really good out from Turner. I mean, exceptional out from Turner right there, and that just shows his technical ability.
Yeah, puts himself in maybe even better than the best possible spot he could have imagined from back there, but just yanks the upshot.
Yeah, he's not happy about that, and you know, maybe he was in that range where it's like, do I go stand still? Do I do a run off? You know, maybe that was kind of in the back of his mind a little. But once again, just a little off. These kind of rounds can happen sometimes. He's very good at hitting gaps, so he'll get it figured out. And we're seeing a bunch of just normal up shots from the rest of our pros here.
Yep. A couple of long eagle looks, maybe 70, 80 footer here for Yuli's, the closest to the bunch. An inch low for Paul. Could have kept that heater going.
Yeah, he was playing the wind there, and he almost played it perfectly. So that was a good bid. There you go, Turner. He's not going to be happy about that, but you just got to deal with it.
Just going to be a par because this hole is playing as a par 5 today. We do have to give a shout out for the lone eagle on hole 12, Clay Edwards, able to card the 3. That is a fantastic pickup for him.
Great 3, Clay. And this is one of those holes that on the Pro Tour probably plays as a par 4, but you know, there's Austin kind of just getting his groove back, making sure he's connecting the way he wants to.
Taking a look at hole 13, 327-foot par 3. You got one tree that you're staring at right in the middle of the fairway. When you're lining this one up, you want to go just inside it like the drone is doing here. Kind of a straightish mid or fairway driver that you keep on a hyzer moving left the whole time but never fades out is the ideal play. Much more difficult to do in practice than it is in theory. Kind of lines up really well for the lefty turnover that we're going to see a couple of these guys try.
Yeah, and you just like you said, Nathan, there's Ulibarri throwing his fairway, and he's saying keep flipping because you know you got to push this fairway, and that's a good result. That's a good throw. He knows it's a little inside, but
I think he stayed inside.
but it was
50.
well thrown, definitely. All right, here's that turnover you were mentioning.
It's looking like a good line if it can hold.
Yeah, once again, you just see the absolute mastery of control. That's probably going to be great.
Came out that much. No.
Yeah, let's take another look.
Yeah, like Nathan said, it did come out at the end, so he might be on the high side of the basket, but angle control was looking great the whole time. I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy with that result.
Yup.
No, surprise it came down.
Yeah, I got to get the angle just right to keep it moving left the whole way. It looks like he didn't quite turn that one enough, so going to fade out. Shouldn't be too difficult of an up and down for par.
That's the good mistake to make on the flick here, I think. It's so easy to get that, kind of squirreled over or leak it out. So pretty good shot. All right, Turner's going backhand turnover.
If I can get a little counter skip, it's going to look great as well.
Very well done. None of these guys hit that center tree. I mean, I think that tree's probably been hit a bajillion times. It's so easy to push right into it. You really want to squeak it, I think, to get the best shot here.
Yeah, you definitely got to push it as close as you can to that tree as possible. But that was a four good shots from these guys on this one. Holt can cause some issues if you hit early, end up down in the low left rough. So 3 birdie putts coming up. Austin's up first, got a little downhill luck, 35 feet.
Yep, that's a hard sigh. I totally can relate. He usually makes those quite often.
Yeah, just didn't get the nose angle right. Queen from about 25, 30.
There he is. Looks like Nathan Queen's just sort of getting his snowball rolling down this hill, collecting momentum. Typical kind of play from him.
Yeah, started off a little slow with that missed putt on hole 1 to take a bogey, but since then, nothing but green. He's moving in the right direction. Paul Ulibarri just on a heater this round.
Absolutely.
10 down through 13 is pretty impressive. You can't really draw it up much better than that. So we'll see how low he can go if he keeps this up.
Yeah, Ulibarri with another really good putt right there, too. Hole 14. This hole is one of the hardest hole. Well, okay, we're in the middle position here, so it's not quite as hard as the long, but it's still a tight hallway you gotta hit. You want to keep the disc going straight and then have a gentle finish at the end. And you'll see a lot of players go with the forehand here, and it looks like Ulibarri's lining it up right now.
Yep, just a subtle hyzer flip forehand from Paul. He's going to get a little skip back to the right at the end. Looks like that faded out a bit early, so he's probably got a longer putt, but still should have some sort of look.
Yeah, he went nuke there, which sort of surprises me, but he's got the control all day, and he likes throwing fast speed drivers on mid to not super long holes. Honestly, could have got a skip ace right there if he had pushed it a little straighter.
Yeah, kind of just skipped right by the basket. So let's see if Nathan Queen can kind of replicate that line. Lines up well for the lefty backhand with just a nice stable fairway driver.
Yeah, definitely a good result here. Gets a even better tree kick, and the lefty backhand throwers are just kind of licking their chops at this one. All right, Holt maybe leaks it out a little early here, but overall a good flick. Should give him a look at a birdie, so well done. I'm sure he wanted to do a little better, but it was still good enough.
Awesome to round out the card.
Taking it a little wide, but that's going to work on this hole. Pushes just a little too straight.
outside the circle long after the ace run.
Almost connects there. Probably felt like he maybe had that one, you know, but a good bid nonetheless. All right, looks like we missed Ulibarri's comebacker, but oh no, it's right here on the ground. Excuse me.
It's hiding behind the tree.
Yeah. There we go. A little bit of a disappointing result on this hole. You typically see these guys probably star frame a hole like that.
But can't happen every time. That's why we play the game. Hole 15, 306-foot par, 3, very uphill through the smallest gap you will see. And yeah, it's definitely pretty terrifying. You got a Mando on the left-hand side, so you got to go straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And got to hit the gap.
Definitely a signature hole out here. Boom. No big deal for a guy like Nathan Quinn. And once again, you just see the disc doesn't fade too hard, but it probably fades harder than he was hoping for right there, actually. So needed to get a little more umph behind his throw there while he hits the gap to keep it turning a little longer. All right, Ulibarri's lining up the backhand. Oh, yeah. He throws that plenty hard enough. Good gap hit. Sliding up to a putt.
Yeah, I like the super deep hyzer flip on a hole like this. Really keeps the disc pushing straight as long as possible.
Holt with a very pretty looking drive. And if that keeps pushing, he's going to have a very good looking putt, and that's well done by the young up and comer.
Yeah, good height on this from Holt. Kind of keeps it moving, gets it to climb to the top of that hill. Maybe pin high, just about 30 feet left.
Yeah, that was well done.
Austin now. So this is always the scary thing, right? Everybody else on the card hits the gap. You got to line it up. You got to get it done.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to do really good right here. And
You're on fire, Tyler. The commentary curse is alive and well.
I'm sorry, Austin.
Austin knew you were going to say that when you did the commentary, so he missed it on purpose to fulfill his promise.
Oh, yeah, what a nice guy. All right, but that's a pretty good upshot there. He'll leave himself with a putt inside the circle to save. Right on the edge of the circle. Save his par. Fortunate tree kick on the missed drive for him.
Yeah, staying in the middle is not a bad result there. All right, Nathan Queen out in the 50-foot range. Hasn't been able to knock a long one down yet. And just a bit short.
Yeah, he's the type of player, he'll make a lot of those throughout a round, and just not quite happening this round one of this tournament for him.
Another long look. Ulibarri this time just catches a little metal, but doesn't stick for him.
That's 2 jumpers in a row.
Austin with a long look to save par, just a bit high.
And once again, the almost in, the almost on. He's doing a good job keeping his composure. I commend him. All right, here we go. Holt for the birdie. Yeah.
Just a bit off as well.
Yeah, you hate that feeling. But he's getting a good lunge in right there.
Some calisthenics stretching.
Yeah, free him up for the next shot, right? Par save.
Yeah, hole 15 is just such a demanding shot, you know. It's one thing to hit the gap and, you know, kind of be able to exhale. It's another to get the angle and height and everything else right to actually put yourself close enough to get a makeable birdie putt. So Kind of have to have a perfect storm of everything coming together to pick this one up.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. 3 of the best players in the world, and none of the 3 of them throw a really good shot there. So hopefully they'll show us again on the 3rd round how to do it. Holt threw a good shot though, almost connected on that birdie. All right, hole 16, another tricky shot. Some people say this is one of the harder holes on the course. I have to kind of disagree a little bit. As long as you get through this middle gap, this initial gap, throw something that kind of holds straight and then fades out. It is a very unique looking hole, I will say that. Nathan's going to show us a unique line. He's going to take the lefty gap.
Yeah, a lot smaller down the left-hand side, but he knows this course well. He's done this a million times and pures it, almost pures it once again. Looked like he caught something just at the very end of the flight.
Yeah, you know, he threw that shot perfectly when he won the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship those years ago, and almost replicates that shot right there.
Really going to take the more traditional gap.
There it is.
Righty backhand down the right-hand side. Looks like this is pushing nicely. We'll see if it gets through.
Oh, unfortunate. Looked like he threw that just right. Just a little too straight. Needed to fade a little quicker.
Yeah, hard to know. You know, out of your hand, you can think you throw this shot perfectly, but it's hard to know if you get through all the way.
Once again, a little high, kind of like Ulibarri's was a little high. Holt, I like the rope that he put on that. It was going to stall out just right, but he hits an unlucky high branch.
Forehand for Austin comes out a bit early.
Sort of like the hole before this one, nobody really just pipes it correctly, fully correctly. I think Nathan Queen had the best looking drive, just caught some unlucky foliage at the end. That's a good up shot. Oh, wow.
Long look for Holt. Not a bad effort. I don't know if he was trying to run that, but
That
looked
was
good from
nice.
this angle.
Yeah, that looked good. I've seen him hit those before, so he almost connected. Ulibarri was closer than I thought. Had an obstructed putt. Almost puts the perfect touch on it. Good looking putt.
Yeah, I think Yuli's had a birdie putt on every single hole except hole 1. Which is pretty crazy. I mean, we've seen him miss a bunch of birdie putts, and he's still at 10 under par right now. So, pretty crazy round he's got going on. Nathan Queen, long look, doesn't quite connect.
Once again, and you can see the frustration starting to settle in because I've been on a card with him where he hits every single one of those. So, yeah, just they're just not dropping. Similar thing with Austin Turner, you know, and it's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. First term of the year, it's cold outside. Like, you know, I think it sometimes takes these guys a little bit to get back into the rhythm, back into the defining your putt.
Yeah, and you know, and it's good for everyone to see that as amazing of players as these gentlemen and young lad are, we all can have a day where we're not connecting on really any of them.
Yeah, happens to the best of us. Heading to the daunting hole 17, par 5, 771 feet. You gotta get clean off the tee on this hole if you want any chance of not taking a huge number. As long as you push something straight, a little bit of left finish puts you somewhere in this range. From there, most players are just going to look to pitch something around the corner. As long as you can get yourself to the dog leg, then you should be in position for about a 250 to 280 foot upshot into this elevated green where the basket is famously elevated on this rock. And really picturesque hole, great hole here at Hornets Nest, and we'll see how these guys attack it. You can clean up first. You just got to get this disc ever so slightly drifting to the left.
He throws a wraith just right, and that's really well done.
Thank you.
Just shows his complete control. Once again, throws a tunnel, keeps the disc in the tunnel the entire flight. really what separates him from so many other players. It's really well done.
Yeah, you really can't draw it up much better than that.
Ulibarri's going for some big distance here. Gets it turned over, but sneaks through the first clump and then gets a fortunate kick. And he'll be able to make something work from there. So
Yeah, that could have been another kind of good break for Uli there. That could have been a lot worse if it kicks right into the rough, but instead kind of stays on the edge. He could honestly still probably get birdie from there, depending on what his lie is looking like.
for sure. And Holt throws a little bit of a better shot than Uli. Same kind of result, though. Gets that kick to the center. Let's see if Austin goes control here or big power. Definitely control. But once again, just a little off. And that's unfortunate because the throw wasn't that bad, but he's just in a kind of a bad spot there. But he's a crafty player, and let's see if he'll be able to get himself into a good position to scramble for a birdie still.
Yeah, probably still needs somewhere in the 320-foot range to get to that corner to have a chance to attack. So see what he can do with this shot.
That's great. I had a feeling he was going to pull one of those out here soon. I mean, that's just a really good pure flick. Hits a small tunnel, keeps it in the tunnel, gives himself a look. And yeah, Holt's not happy about that. You know, he's lined up to put himself in position and just leaks it. Yuli's going with the forehand roller here. I like this play. That looks pretty well done.
Yeah, got it on a really good angle. Kind of just kept running through the gap and got a little sneaky at the end. We'll see if he made his way all the way to the corner. And he's going to be a little pinched on the left, but I'm sure he'll be able to make something work. Probably some sort of flex forehand up into the green.
For sure. Queen going with the long arcing turnover, similar spot as Ulibarri. Another good shot from him. Holt taking his medicine, getting to the layup, getting to the pitch zone to lay up his upshot for par. Austin, after a very good scramble second.
Yeah, right back in position. Awkward footing with the tree right behind him. It's going to be tough to get all the power on this one up into the green.
There he goes. Oh. Makes the first initial hill, but looks like he got caught up on something right afterwards. Almost is able to capitalize. Holt with a very good sidearm here.
Yeah, perfect touch on that one. Little soft turnover gets him all the way up into the green. Should have a short par putt from there.
Yeah, that was extremely well executed. You really see Holt at this young player's game is really good backhand and forehand. Nathan throws the gap. Probably gave himself a good putt. All right, Yuli's on a knee here. He's very good at these types of throws.
Full zone, forehand turnover. Leaked out a bit to the circle's edge. Kind of a scary putt. Looking up at that elevated basket. Green definitely has a lot of rollaway potential.
It doesn't look like we have much wind, but this spot on the course can sometimes get a lot of wind in that elevated basket, and you can see some really unlucky things happen.
Yeah, so big putt for Yuli. Circle's edge, looking up at it.
Boom.
No doubter.
And that's just what defines a professional player right there. Just the ability to just strike that in there in that moment. Very well done. Very impressive.
Yeah, big putt for Yuli. Extends his lead on the card. We'll see here shortly how that stacks up against the rest of the field, but you got to think that 11 under through 17 is looking pretty good at this point.
Definitely. All right, Queen with a similar distance.
Knocks it down as well. Two great putts from these guys. A couple of birdies on 17 is no easy feat. Second hardest hole on the course at a 5.35 average.
Yeah, Definitely, this is a great putt. No big deal for Nathan Queen. He's used to, answering the call. That's two really good professionals showing us how to play this hole, and that's a good cleanup par by Austin. And the same with Holt. It's a good par save after him, and a not as satisfactory second shot. So good job there, Holt. All right, guys, we've made it to the last hole on this course of our round. Hole 18, we're playing from the middle tee position. You'll see some guys go power hyzer forehand here. You'll see some guys go turnover here. Our lefties, I'm sure, will take the hyzer route. And elevated basket makes this hole a little trickier. It's one that you feel like is a good one to cap the round off with.
Yeah, not much in the way, not too much danger. Wind was fairly low for this first round, so players definitely can attack this one. Nathan Queen sticks that one in there, goes a bit long actually, but a great shot from him.
Yeah, and Yuli's going to go power forehand here.
All right, we're going to find out if he has the up to 400 or up to 350, as you said. On the front nine. This one's looking good.
Oh, he's definitely got up to 400. Once again, shame on me for ever saying 350 first. So good job. That's a good forehand, and he'll give himself a good look. Holt doing the same thing. Goes a little more on the flex side. Just threw it a little too high, but he's got enough power, and he didn't love it, but he's going to give himself a look at a reasonable putt for birdie. All right, let's see if Austin Turner can throw a lawn dart here on the lefty backhand hyzer.
Yeah, this is just a brainless spike hyzer for him. Distance not really an issue. We'll see just how close he stuck that here in a second.
All right, here's another look at Austin's shot.
Yep, going with the Onyx here, nice and high. Puts it out wide.
Oh, talk about a lawn dart bullseye. And I had a feeling he'd do that. He's just too good of a player. Wasn't the round that he wanted, but he'll get his birdie here, and I'm sure he's just kind of raring to go and get this round behind him and get back up there on the leaderboard. Oh, almost.
Yeah, long look from Holt there, not able to connect. Not the round he wanted today, but hopefully a good learning experience for him. Uli, hard to complain about his round. Finishing at 12 under par here at Hornets Nest is pretty crazy. 1062 rated for those of you following along at home.
An incredible round and full of putts just like that and longer. Just those 25 to 35 footers. He just knocked them down over and over again. And Nathan Queen really pulled it together here at the end. He shoots the 9 down himself, and he hit a lot of those putts similar distance to get himself into position as well. So
yeah, kind of a sneaky round from Nathan. Just got the birdies he needed to get. Like you said, Tyler made some good putts and able to finish in a spot to keep him in contention in this tournament.
Definitely. And I liked what I saw out of Holt. He had some bad holes where things didn't go his way, but you saw he was firing the whole time. He was committing to his throws. He was running his putts. That's a good sign that he's going to get very comfortable on these lead cards, on this tournament coverage, and have a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I'll hope to see him on coverage again soon. I'm sure it won't be too long before that happens.
Well, that was a fun round. We saw some great shots. We saw some missed opportunities. What's your overall take from the group?
Yeah, it's Hornets Nest, The holes are all there. It's a very scoreable course, especially in the layout that we saw. But you gotta make it happen. You gotta make putts. And Paul Ulibarri did just that. 12 under par gives him a 3-stroke lead on the field. And we got a 4-way tie for second with Nathan Queen, Clay Edwards, the guy sitting to my left, Tyler Wozniak, and Adam Cruz. So we will see the top 4 of those guys in our round 2 coverage. So make sure you subscribe to GMT so you don't miss it when that comes out.
Yeah, I had a good round myself. I was connecting on a lot of putts and excited for round 2. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Subscribe to Greatest Media Team, just like my boy Nathan Johnson said. We are so excited to bring you guys round 2 coming up. And thank you so much for tagging along and hanging out with us today.
We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.